so it's been a little while. It's been probably 1 month. A lot has happened. I was absent because I had uni exams. Yes, I'm still doing another bachelor's online. It was pretty chill. It was an online exam. It was open book, but somehow I still managed to leave everything to the last minute, get super stressed, and actually get overwhelmed by all the information that was available to me. So I was focusing on that for a while, and then I had my ISO birthday. Is it even 2020 if you didn't celebrate your birthday in isolation? I almost got out of it, but Melbourne just went back into lockdown as well. So expect some more home vlogs while we are staying home and staying safe. And I also thought it would be a good time to do a monthly favorites, or just kind of a haul of the random things that have made my time at home just that much more enjoyable and that much more easier. First off is a toner. This is the bilingual, I'm sorry if I said it so bad, the Essence toner, and I first saw this when Jenny used it a couple years ago, and a lot of K-beauty fans raved about it. So I've been a fan of the SK2 facial treatment Essence for about 4 to 5 years, and I have been loyal. But it definitely is quite pricey, and every time I purchase it, it's like a luxurious purchase, and I use it down to the very last drop. So the differences are, this one is a little bit more viscous. It feels a little bit thicker because the other one is essentially a water. Don't get me wrong, this is still very watery, but the thing that I noticed is that as soon as I put it onto my face, my skin drinks it up straight away. Whereas other essences and toners, I kind of have to pat it in a little bit more, but I can tell my skin loves it and it is getting so much more hydrated. Immediately notice the results probably within 2 to 3 days. And because it's winter here in Melbourne, with the wind and the heating on, my skin gets really dry, and sometimes I notice after a steaming hot shower when I come out, I get like these dry patches on my face where it looks kind of dusty. So I will splash this straight onto my face. I do it morning and night, and it is just that boost of hydration that I needed, and it's gentle and it's soft and good for Asian skin. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've been struck with a case of the maskne or the isolation acne. When I was wearing a mask at work, I was probably getting 2 or 3 new pimples every time I took it off. My chin area suffers from congestion anyway. My mum calls this area, like the triangle area, like the poison area, because if you get pimples here, they are the most poisonous and they're the worst, and it shows that you have like bad eating habits, etc. I think a lot of Asian moms are saying that. So usually if I get a facial, I'll get them to extract it because I can't do it myself because it's all kind of under the surface. But recently it's just been out of control, and I'm trialing some different products. I'm introducing chemical exfoliants like lactic acid and salicylic acid, which sounds kind of scary, but hopefully it works. But let me know if you guys are getting a case of the maskne or the chin hormonal kind of deep breakouts, and let me know what you guys are doing to combat it. So when I got my facial, the facialist was like, "Do you have a skincare routine?" And I was like, "How dare you? Yes, I do." And she was like, "Do you wash your face?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "Do you remove your makeup?" And I was like, "What do you think I am? Go to sleep with my full face of makeup on?" Firstly, I wear makeup like once a week. Secondly, I have like a 5-step skin routine that I follow every day, and I thoroughly double cleanse my face. So she was saying to kind of go for lighter and thinner products and to steer away from any thick moisturizers that I usually love, especially moisturizers with oil in it, which, long story short, led me to the CosRx Birch Sap Lotion. Now, this isn't a moisturizer per se, it's thinner, it is a lotion, and it has about 70.8% birch sap, which is great for calming and moisturizing your skin. So it's nice and thin, but don't be fooled because this little sucker is so moisturizing. When I first put it on, I was like, expecting to wake up with like crusty skin, and I woke up and my skin was still moisturized. So I find it light enough to layer on top of any serums or any acids that I'm using, and still moisturizing enough to put makeup on top as well. One more product in the hydration region. I got gifted a set of minis from Glow Recipe at Mecca, and this would probably be my favorite product. It is the watermelon kind of overnight mask. I know I'm late to the train, I'm late to the Glow Recipe train, but I love it! So it's got AHAs and hyaluronic acid in it. So hyaluronic acid will help you keep moisturized, and AHA, I think, buffs away a little bit of like the surface of your skin, so you get that glow. So it's like an acid. Alpha hydroxy acid, I'm still learning about it, guys. Please educate me down below. So I've been a fan of the Laneige water sleeping mask. Both are heavily scented though. This one smells a bit less scented. It's more fruity and watermelony, so if you are quite sensitive to fragrances or scents, I wouldn't recommend it. But I find both give quite similar results in the morning, whereas this one makes my skin glow a little more, but the Laneige one kind of just makes me feel moisturized, but my complexion is still kind of the same, dull-ish. I also just recently turned 26. I thought I was turning 25, had a little breakdown when I realized I was actually turning 26. But as I enter into the second quarter of my life, so also comes the adulting, the obsession with homewares and plants and plates galore. So I have two favorite mugs to share with you guys. Obviously, I'm a huge tea drinker and I have a coffee every day. So just having that mug that's like the perfect volume, the perfect material, and that looks pretty just brightens my morning. So the first one that I always drink my coffee out of is this Anthropology monogrammed mug. It has the letter J on it. Also, my boyfriend can use it because his name starts with J, so I didn't just buy it for myself. This one is a little bit more pricey. I think it was like $17 from David Jones. The only downside to this one is that you can't stick it in the dishwasher because it has the metallic detailing. It makes me feel like I'm in a little bistro in Paris, because who knows when we'll be able to go there again. A slightly cheaper option and a fan favorite whenever I have friends over is this IKEA mugs. This is only $1.99, it's like $2. I'm probably gonna buy like 5 more. It's heavy, it's weighted, it's thick glass, so you can pour in boiling hot coffee or boiling hot water and you don't have to worry about it crackling or anything. But yeah, it's nice and large, so you don't have to refill that often as well. Now during lockdown 1.0, a lot of us picked up a lot of new hobbies, whether it be baking, growing plants, growing spring onions, or painting. So I trialed baking and I found that painting was probably a little bit more my style. And recently I had friends in Melbourne as well who were looking into starting painting during this lockdown and asked me kind of what supplies I got started off with. I'm in no means a professional, I literally just started, but I just find it a good hobby to have and soothing, even though at the start it was very aggravating because I didn't know how to paint. Watch a lot of YouTube tutorials for beginners and watch a lot of kind of Instagram video tutorials. I think it's Bolter Design Co. and Today's Atelier, which is like a Korean painting studio. I think they make the most beautiful paintings and I kind of just look at it and mimic it and practice it. So when I first started, I bought like a beginner set from Officeworks, which had the primary colors, red, yellow, blue, white, black, and it had the cold and the warm version of each color. So warm red, warm blue, cold blue, so it's easier to mix colors. And it came with like a pencil and some paintbrushes as well and a palette. It was super cheap, but that probably lasted me about 1 week before I had the itch to buy some proper gear. So I bought some more paintbrushes. I like the kind of filbert tacklon, I don't know what it's called, like the rounded edge. I find it easier just to create a smooth line because the other kind of square bristles I find tend to separate a bit, maybe just because they're cheapo, and then they ruin my smoothness of the painting. And then I also got some smaller detailed brushes just so I can draw thinner lines and if I can add some little details to florals or whatever. And you really need a big tube of white paint. This thing was a damn commodity during lockdown 1.0. It was like sold out everywhere. So as soon as it became available, I bought it on catch.com.au. I got like 4 tubes of this stuff because white paint, you need white paint for everything. When you're mixing, when you're lightening colors, just get a lot of white paint. I actually just bought another 250ml tub of this stuff. Some other things you might need are palettes. So at the start, I bought a wooden palette because, you know, it's more aesthetic, it looks pretty. I quickly came to realize that you can't wash the paint off, which I don't mind, it looks kind of cute, I reckon. But also, the wood kind of eats the paint a little bit as well, so a plastic one is probably better, easier to mix as there's less texture and easier to wash off, but I wouldn't say a palette is 100% necessary. You could just use an old plate. And also like an artist pad. So I attempted acrylic painting. It's different for watercolor and oil based, but if you do acrylic paint and gouache, I think you could probably use around the same. I bought most of my art pads just from Officeworks or Riot or Artshed, and this one has been my favorite so far. It is 400 GSM, so it's really, really thick. The first one I bought I think was 150 to 200, and I noticed that when I was painting, when it got wet, the paper would kind of curl up. This stays put. She is thick, so I think anything above 300 GSM is good enough and is thick enough so that the paper won't be drenched.
Also, the more matte paints are my favorite because they are at a good price point, and if you don't want to mix that many colors, just get a big set like this one, or the Two Seasons one is also beautiful. It has a lot of nice pastels.
Another thing that has brought me a lot of joy having in, I feel like Marie Kondo right now, this has brought me joy, is having fresh flowers. I guess it depends on which area you're in and if they're available in your local grocery stores or if you can go out and grab them. But if you're just, at Woolies or Coles, they always have little bunches of flowers. So just having fresh flowers in like the kitchen or the living room really brightens up the space for me. And I know they're kind of like a waste of money because they die anyway, but if you look after them well, they can last like 2 to 3 weeks, and I have orchids from 2 months ago, like an orchid stem, that's still alive. They are holding on for dear life. Some tips, I always put in a little bit of sugar and make sure the water is kind of like a little bit colder than lukewarm, because if you have fresh cut flowers where you cut the stems on like a diagonal, I think they don't like being put into super cold water, but every flower is different, so just check up on that as well. Sometimes they put in like a little drop of lemon juice or a drop of bleach to kill any bacteria. It sounds really intense, but if you put in a drop of bleach or vodka, it kills any germs or anything, and it just helps your flowers live for longer as well. You can get twigs. It's winter bloom season. My boyfriend was like, why is there a tree in our room? But I think it's very beautiful and sophisticated. And also houseplants. Disregarding how many houseplants I have killed when I first started buying them in Shanghai, it is like having a child. Each of them has a different care regime. I'm still learning. I recently just exiled one plant, a Kentia palm from IKEA, that I've been looking after for a whole year, and it decided to die on me. There are a lot of plants that are indoor and air purifying, so they help clean up the air around you, make it better to breathe, make a better work environment, and they're usually like quite cheap and the easier one to look after as well. I just find having plants in the house brings it to life, and especially when everyone's working from home, living and eating and doing everything at home, just having a fresh pop of life can really change your environment. So yeah, if your workspace, if you're working in your bedroom or your kitchen or your living room, if it's just like draining you, bedroom, fresh change of bed sheets might fix it up, or putting a pot plant in the kitchen might make it nice, or just rearranging the furniture in a room might give it a fresh perspective. As like everyone, I've been wearing a lot of loungewear. What are pants that are not elasticated? I tried to put on jeans the other day, or like work pants. Even leggings I find kind of uncomfortable now. It's just joggers, sweaters, trackies forever now. So I felt like I made a stupid-ish purchase at the start of the year, but it has proved very useful and well worth its money. I got this Aritzia TNA hoodie. I got it in a size medium in grey, so it's a little bit oversized. It's like $90 to $100 Australian. I know it's a hoodie, but hear me out. This one has a really nice thick fleecy material, and I've probably washed it about 10 to 15 times since I bought it, and it has still retained its thickness and full bodiness. I just hate tracksuits or sweaters where they're really thin and they kind of cling to your body. I did try it on first. I didn't buy it for the whole 2 to 3 weeks, and then I tried on some other hoodies and I was like, I don't need a $90 hoodie. But I went back and bought it anyway because none of the other ones that I tried on or trialed were as thick and as warm and as soft as this one. If you do have any recommendations for a cheaper price, please let me know, because I don't really want to spend another $90, but she has served me very well. Like, I spend more on dresses that I've just worn once or twice than this one that I've probably worn like 20 to 30 times. I've also been on the hunt for the perfect pair of thick joggers. I had some from like Maya, I had some from Uniqlo, but they all kind of went crunchy and crispy and uncomfortable. So I got these 90s oversized joggers from Topshop, and they have proven to be the nice thick ones. They've got the elasticated at the bottom. They were very oversized. If there was the petite size, I would have gone for the petite one because they were long, they were super baggy. It looked like I was wearing my dad's pants. But a few tumble dries later, they're the perfect style now, except for the bottom. They're kind of too tight now. They cut up the circulation in my ankle, but it's okay. But yeah, this material is similar to the Aritzia one, where it's nice and thick and fleecy inside, and even after a lot of washes, she's doing very well. But give me any recommendations for comfortable loungewear, because I am all ears and I am all body ready to be comfortable. Thank you so much for for joining me in bringing back the monthly favorites / things that have just brought me joy in the past few months. Let me know what new hobbies or interests or TV shows or music I should be listening to in the next 6 weeks while I'm at home, and you better expect a new video from me every single week, because what else am I gonna do? You can keep updated with my daily life at home here on Instagram, and my Weibo is here, and this is me and my friend Bebe's podcast. It's in Chinese, Mandarin and English, so if you want to learn some Mandarin and Shanghainese while you're also stuck at home, you can listen to that.